Hiya, I'm Emilou. I'm from the student finance team based in student services. I'm just going to talk to you about some of the bursaries available here. To start with, just going to go show you the colours of them. So if you're 16 to 18 before the 31st of August, before the start of your course in September, then you will have one of these forms. If you were a student with us this year in 2014 to 15, then it'll be one of these purple forms. And if you're a brand new student, then it'll be one of these green forms. So for the 16 to 18 bursaries, you can apply for the travel bursary if you live more than 3 miles away from the college and you're rejected by your local authority, then it is a basic £45 a month paid straight into the student's bank account, and this will help support you towards your travel cost to getting into the college. There's also support with course costs. Many courses have course costs such as equipment costs, uniforms or trips, and this can be a bit of a struggle for some students to pay for, so depending on your household income you can apply for support for up to 90% towards these costs, and then you can make a smaller contribution towards that. There's also the meals bursary. So generally if you had meals bursary, free meals in your school, that's usually a good indicator that you'll be able to get it at college, but the usual rules are that you have to be getting a certain amount of benefits, so such as income support, income-based job seekers allowance, employment support allowance, working tax credit run-on, so if you become unemployed and then it's continuing still, then that's acceptable as well. Child tax credit with an income of less than £16,000, £190, and no working tax credit, as well as a few other supports such as state pension credit, universal credit, and the support from the Immigration and Asylum Act. Hiya, I'm Emilou. I'm part of the student finance team. I'm based in student services. I'm just going to tell you today about some of the bursaries available with the adult bursary. So if you're over 19 and starting a course here, then you can fill out one of our blue forms. I'm just going to go over some of the bursaries that you may be eligible for. So firstly we have the travel bursary. This is for students that are living more than 3 miles away from the college and they need support getting into the college. So we work out based on, depending on your income, whether you'd be eligible for 50% or 90% support towards your travel costs, and that's sent out monthly into the student's bank account directly. There's also a bursary for course costs. This again is, depending on your income, will be 50% or 90%, and it's usually in the form of a discount for your course costs. So many courses have course costs such as uniforms, trips or materials, and if they're deemed essential course costs that are needed to kind of pass the course, then you can apply for our bursary to get a bit of help towards that. We also have our tuition, examination and professional body fees bursary. This is for the actual cost of the course itself, and also any fees that you might have to pay for professional body membership or any external examination fees that are necessary to complete the course. This will be a flat 50% towards this course cost for all students that have an income of less than £26,000 a year. And then finally we have our 20 plus childcare bursary, and again the different rates depending on how much your household income is, and that will be support paid for directly to your Ofsted registered childcare, nursery or other childcare provider. And this will only be for days that you're timetabled to be in, so either timetabled lessons or a placement, and that will be to support some of the childcare so you're able to come to college as well. So that's an overview of the bursaries available. They are all subject to a household income of less than £26,000 a year. But if you'd like to know any more information about it in a bit more depth, then feel free to visit our website or pop into student services and see us. Okay, so this is how to fill in your 16 to 18 bursary application form. This is the front page, which will be your receipt. So once it's filled in, then this will be signed off by a member of the student services team, and they'll select which bursaries you applied for. It's really important to keep this to show when you applied for your bursary. If you have any questions in the future about how your bursary application is doing, then you'll be asked to show this receipt or tell them the date that you applied, because it's really helpful for our team to be able to find your form from that date. Moving on, the second page in, again this is kept with your receipt. You can take this away with you, and it's just a bit of information about what happens next to your form, so it's really worth having a read through that after you've handed in your application form. This page is the first page of the form, so it's the usual suspects of your address, name, your course title. If you're not sure which course you're going to be doing, then it's best to pop in the course that you ideally would like to do if you got the right grades, and so on, and then you can update us later if this does change. It's really useful for us if you pop in your level and whether it's part-time or full-time, because it helps us assess your course costs as well. Okay, residency status, we're just checking for this to see if you have been in the UK or the EU 3 years before your course, just for funding reasons, so it's useful if you can fill this in. And then finally there is your student bank account on this page. We prefer it to be the student's own bank account details, as it helps you learn to manage your own money. However, if this isn't possible, then feel free to speak to a member of the student finance team and to discuss that further. Okay. Next we have the eligibility table. This is a really useful handy table to find out what your household income is and what you're eligible for with regards to it. So for instance, if you're earning over £30,000 a year, then you will not be eligible for any of our bursaries, unfortunately. However, if you're earning lower than this, there are certain bursaries you can apply for. At the bottom of the page here, it'd be really useful if you could tick which bursaries you wish to apply for, as that helps us when we're processing later to know what you're wanting from us. And then we have our travel bursary page. If you tick here to indicate whether you'd like to apply for the bursary and whether you live more than 3 miles away from the college. There's a question about local authorities. There's also a table to match it up with, so depending on your household income and which borough you're from, you may have to apply for your local authority and receive a rejection letter before you can get the travel bursary from Bedford College or the sixth form. Then we have the vulnerable learner bursary. So again, if you are a care leaver or in care, then you can fill this out with the supporting evidence to apply for that. Okay. This section here is the discretionary hardship bursary. There's a bit of information about whether you'd like to apply for it, and also some lines to fill in why your exceptional circumstances require the bursary. So it's really important to fill this in with information for us to go on, because that's the only information we'll be able to use to assess you for the discretionary hardship bursary. Next we have the meals bursary. You can tick through which, if you have any of these qualifying benefits, to apply for the meals bursary. And then finally there's the course cost bursary. As long as you've ticked it on the front page or circled this and in some way indicated that you want the course cost bursary, then we'll assess your course costs and award that if you're eligible. Finally, there is the student survey. Really helpful if you could fill that out so we can get some feedback on how we're doing. And then there's a checklist just so you can make sure that you filled in everything. For instance, that you've ticked for all the bursaries that you'd like to have from us. And then finally, there's a student declaration which you need to sign and date to just show that, that you're agreeing to our terms and conditions. And then that'll be about it. So then you can hand it back in to student services. We'll give you your receipt and you'll hear back from us about whether you're successful for the bursary or if we need more information from you.